Yeah, so I don't know if I spelled lollipops right. But whatever, I don't really care, yeah. But I put lollipops on there. Does it work? Okay, strawberries and candy canes is the topic tonight. And yes, when I was a kid, my mom used to make us go pick strawberries. We had to take it looked like a school bus out to a field and then fill these little containers up. And that's how kids used to make money back in the day. Okay, I hated it. Oh, and then candy canes. I got a good story about candy canes. Hey, thanks, Audra Blankenship. Yeah. Yes, and I actually have a pretty cool. I have a fond memory of candy canes regarding I've actually owned 3 Pomeranians in my life. They always got the boo cut though, where it was short, wasn't the long one. Although, when I first got the first one, they're really cool dogs. They're really mellow, you know. They just. What was weird about the first one I named Petro. Okay. Thanks, Juju Positive. Yeah. So I had a Pomeranian named Blue. Okay. So hey, by the way, this is what the dashboard looks like. Let me show you. I think this is why it wasn't working. Watch. Hold on a second. Hey, look at that, J Case. Here we can get the crazy cat with the bug eyes. Here we go. And Jay's out there saving lives, everybody. He's the real deal. Come on, let me see the cat with the bug eyes. It's loud, so I don't want to be talking. Oh, Jesus. I got it. It freaked me out, and I even knew it was coming. Woo! Wow.
You're just another brick in the wall.
All right, man. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Hey, look at it right here. Age restricted. See, it does say that on there. But what does that have to do with super chats? You know, I don't think any like 9-year-olds were donating. I don't really understand the. Maybe it needed to be marked that way originally. I don't know. Can I leave it up? Like, what does that mean? Let me see what that means. Okay, hold on.
More candy canes.
The YouTube will review our original decision and remove the age restriction if appropriate. We will notify you by email of our final decision on your video. Please note that you may appeal. I'm not going to appeal it. Forget it. Jeez.
Hi, 101 rolling on the floor, laughing, rolling on the floor, laughing, rolling on the floor, laughing, love you freaks.
Thanks, Lanky Tor and Paisley Dreams. Hey, look at this. Right here, the Delphi live show the other night is the only show out of the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 shows that's monetized. Weird. I'm not sure why, but it's the only one out of 11, the last 11 shows that's... Yeah, all right. Hey, and there's Bush and Beach Lifestyle. Bam! From Australia, I think. Yeah, if I remember that right. Hey, thanks, Woods Girl and Kids. That's very descriptive, you know. Okay, so back to my... Hey, look at that. Sabrina Rodriguez. One of the callers from the Delphi...
You're right. Smiling face with smiling eyes.
Yeah, last night, yeah. Thank you. People they're probably commenting like, how much did Gray pay Sabrina to be that nice? Sabrina. Well, she just likes the show. Come on, Raven. Who doesn't, right? Who the hell doesn't? Hey, put a 1 in here if you don't like the show. Seriously. Then I think that's a good technique. If you don't like my show, put a 1 in the chat. Hey, thanks, Sabrina Rodriguez. I paid nothing. But yes, the check's in the mail. I think I got the right address. All right, here's the thing: is I bought my first dog that I ever bought myself. Wow, my God, look at J Case again. The King Ad Rock, that is my name, and I know the flat spot where they got the champagne. Wow, thanks, man.
The King Ad Rock and Mr. H-U-Z-E-E.
The King Ad Rock and Mr. Hugh Z. Right? The King Ad Rock and Mr. Hugh Z. Yeah, that's right. The King Ad Rock, that is my name, and I know that. There's one that rhymes with that, with no but-t. The King Ad Rock
He
and Mr.
paid
Hugh
nothing,
Z
I just
go
love
down
him.
the street without no but-t. Yes, and J Case is a real person. And as a matter of fact, he invented what we call I think it was J Case Vision, or just J Vision actually, where you can look at Google Earth and literally see criminals on the street. We were pretty close to that the other day, though. I almost actually literally did it by the Delphi case. There was satellite imagery available that was millimeter stuff, where you can zoom in and look at millimeter, I mean, like a twig on the ground of the Delphi area, but it wasn't on the 14th, or the 13th is what you'd want. It was the 17th. So look at that. I would have spent the money. It was going to cost $800, and I would have I would have gladly paid $800 to have satellite imagery of the Monenhai Bridge on February 13th, 2017. That would be absolutely mind-boggling to see what you could see on that. Especially if it was, let's say if you got footage from, I would say the best time would have been something like 2:10, okay? I don't really want to see the crime scene, that part go down, but I would want to see the actual, walking on the bridge. I mean, how crazy would that be? Wow, Juju Positive. Thank you very much. Well, thanks, Steve Kerr. You've always been a great shooter, so I like having you around.
Glad I found your channel, Gray.
If I can't
Grinning
make the
face
basket,
with smiling eyes.
if I can't make the basket, I just throw it over to Steve Kerr, and he drains it from about 25 feet.
Least I caught you on time. Face with tears of joy.
Well, thank you. Juju Positive. Very cool. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, Jake, you do emergency room, don't you? Yeah, man. Well, thank you, everybody. I can't believe it. I don't know what the hell happened tonight, but I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, just picture that, everybody. They actually literally had satellite imagery that you could purchase of the Monenhai Bridge that was millimeter quality. And imagine if you could literally, you would see the parked car, you would see the girls walking on the bridge, and you'd see the suspect You'd see so much stuff. It'd be absolutely mind-boggling. So it was only 4 days off. Unbelievable. I wonder if there's other crimes that would work in. And that would be classified. If that ever happens, Jay, we get that. The show's going to start off that says J Vision is real. That's what it's going to say on the headline, okay? Yeah, it was just 4 days off. And that was, I think it was actually, the Woods mom and, yeah, Woods girl and kids. I think she's the person who told me about that. And what's weird is I actually had looked something like similar to that up before, but not that same site, I don't think. Yeah, I know you're the wrong one. But I mean, that's exactly how he spells his name, so I'm just joking around with you. I'm sure Steve Kerr's planning the next season out. He's not watching my YouTube true crime channel, talking about 1939 beheading cases. You know, he's probably wondering, gosh, I wonder if Steph Curry's going to really have to step it up next year. All right, now let me get back to my Pomeranian story. All right, listen to this. See, I had my original Pomeranian. His name was Petro. Let me see something. I think I might have a picture of him. Hold on, let me try to get this one. Well, I actually couldn't find him. Wow, I come right back to the screen and Crystal, aka Beaver Gaming sub Crystal. My God, thank you. I don't believe in the flat Earth theory. You're right. Well, thanks, Donna V too. Wow, I mean, man, I feel like amazing. I don't know what you call it, but. All right, I'm gonna put my face up on the screen, but look, this is
Love
actually
the show, and that cat face with rice smile red heart.
This was actually my last Pomeranian. Can this look all right? There he is, right there. His name was Rocky.
Reason 251 why I love Gray. He doesn't believe in flat Earth theory.
That's right. I do not believe in flat Earth theory. That's 100% accurate. Yeah, that was Rocky. He was cute. But I had one before that. The first one I had name was Petro. And then I had a black one that she lived to be 17 years old. I got a story on that one too. You guys probably think was funny as hell. Well, thanks, Juju Positive.
This message will be public.
All right. Is there a private one too? Yeah. So what's funny is, wow, look at, I mean, you just put Bambi on the screen and everybody shows up. It's amazing. Well, thank you. Dottie O and Sabrina Rodriguez again.
Let's
I don't think
keep
they want to hear
this channel strong and growing.
Yep. I came for the candy and strawberries. Yeah, it's wild, right? Now let's see if tomorrow it's demonetized. Wouldn't that be amazing? And all we did was talk about happy, frilly things.
The best show on YouTube.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I like it. I actually have fun doing the show. Some nights I'm like, well, I'm going to take a break, and then I go, nah, hell, I got to do it. And a lot of sometimes I actually do the show just knowing that I know people will be bummed when they get up in the morning and they don't get to play it. And just listen to something. Even if I'm just rambling on, they want to listen to it.
You're the best, Gray.
Well, thank you, Lori Fisher. All right. So here it is. My dog, Petro, he actually died when he was 8 years old, and he died getting his teeth cleaned. I mean, what a horrible way and just absolutely meaningless way to die, right? Getting his teeth cleaned. He went into shock or something. Thanks, Juju Positive.
Enjoy watching your show.
Yeah. So his name was Petro. The first dog, I named him after Drazen Petrovic, the NBA player that played. He came from Yugoslavia, scored 112 points in a Yugoslavian league game, 60 points in the European Championship game. He's my favorite NBA player of all time, and he died tragically after being traded to the New Jersey Nets. He was averaging 23 points a game. Jordan thought he was awesome. Reggie Miller thought he was. I mean, he was just turned into as great a player as he's probably the best European player ever to play in the NBA. And he died on the Autobahn. His girlfriend or somebody was driving, and a truck had crashed around a corner, and the car went around the corner, and boom, his head, it killed him. And it really sucked. So, I made a t-shirt of him myself after he died, and then I named my first dog Petro. So, anyways, the funny story about Petro was at Christmas time. Well, he was only 8, though. I don't think that's that old. But at Christmas time, my brother and his wife, she'd always put these candy canes on the tree. So they're all hanging from the branches and everything. And we all go to work, right? I mean, it's actually hilarious. Okay. So we all go to work, and I come back home, and I go into the living room, and Petro doesn't even come to the door like normal at all. He's just over there in La La Land, just mowing down on a candy cane. Just literally just, just like in a whole nother planet. And the thing is when I got up to him, I saw that he had crushed candy cane on his entire mane. Like it went all the way around. He had all these little chunks of candy cane going all the way around on the freaking mane of... I mean, I'm actually remembering it, laughing again. Because I didn't even get mad at him at that point. It was so cute and funny, because then he looked kind of sheepish. But like he had literally picture... This isn't the same dog, but that kind of look, but a little longer hair maybe. And they're just being candy cane all the way, crushed chunks all around his face. And so it took a while to get that out, actually. So I thought that was pretty funny. Yeah. And what's weird is I had 3 Pomeranians just for a little bit, like a week. That's when, Petro died getting his teeth cleaned, and Lele, my other dog, was a black Pomeranian. She was probably like 5 or so at the time. Oh, look how cute Blue is right there. Almost looks like a little human being curled up right there. You see that? Let's see, what was the deal? Yeah, so they were at the vet at the same time, and it was so weird because Lele, she actually seemed to understand what was going on. It was really bizarre. I'm holding Lele, and the doctor comes in and shows, I think they showed me Petro, let me say goodbye kind of thing. And Lele's like looking up at me, and then when the nurses or vet nurse or whatever the hell it was talking, she was listening. It was really strange. It seemed like she knew what the hell was going on. So, anyways, Lele lived to be 17 years old. But the last 2 years, I think I selfishly kept her alive with like heart medicine and shit like that. It was, you know, the thing is, there's a certain time where you just kind of know it's done. I mean, she would pee in her crate every single night, and I'd clean it up and get a fresh bed the next day, like every single day, because, you know, she. And there was a certain point where I could just see that one day I was looking at her and she just looked like she was done. It was so weird because I'm holding her in my hands, and when they put her to sleep, and kind of just looked kind of peaceful. She just, there's no weird gasping or anything. She just fell asleep almost. You know that. So the weird part about Lele, the Lele story that I have is, one time we went to I had a girlfriend at the time. We went to the beach, and we stopped. There was a bridge on the way to the beach, and it's probably like 15 feet above the water. And Lele goes walking out. The girlfriend and Lele went walking onto the bridge, and I went down below with Rocky at the time. So we're down. I'm down below. I think I was. I don't know what I was doing. Just right at the creek down below the bridge. And the girlfriend was 10 feet, 15 feet up in the air with Lele. And then all of a sudden I hear this, oh my God. And I turn around, I see this blur. And then I look at this bush, and Lele had jumped off the bridge because she just wanted to be down where I was. So like from 15 feet up in the air, she just goes, whee! And goes bang, right into a bush, rolls out of it, and just goes pee, and then just starts looking around like nothing. I just couldn't believe it. I was thinking to myself, did she know that bush was there? Like, she literally jumped into the bush, rolled out of the bush, and just took a piss and then started looking around. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. She didn't have a clue what she just did, because she was 15 years old. You know, she was getting a little bit like the, what do you call that? Well, you know, when your eyes turn a little, like glaucoma almost, not really. Cataracts. Like, she just couldn't see very good. So she's like, hey, picked a blob of something down there. I mean, if she'd hit the ground, she was going to be toast. I mean, literally broke something. But she literally just landed in a bush, rolled out, squatted down and pissed, and then just started sniffing around with Rocky as if nothing had happened. Nothing to see here, folks. I just did a ludicrously acrobatic event, and it was unbelievable. Yeah. And Lele was such an amazing acrobat for a Pomeranian. Like, she was little, and I always kept her hair really short. For a while it was long, but it was short. And, man, I could literally, she could be in a chair, and I could be about 8 feet away, and I'd go, come on, and she'd go, just leap high as she could, leap of faith, and land right in my arms. It was amazing. She was very trainable, very smart. So, anyways. By the way, I watched all of Andrew Dice Clay's jokes today. Yeah. It's pretty funny. If you just go onto YouTube and type it in and go watch the old stuff, maybe when he was on with Rodney Dangerfield. That was hilarious. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's some hilarious shit, man. Little boy Blue, he needed the money. Oh. Yeah, what's the other one? Yeah, well, I'm not gonna do his jokes. We do those all the time. I don't know where the hell is Billy Boy Blue? He's always in there filling us in with the jokes. Yeah, similar to your brother, Lanky Tor. Is that why you're so kind to me? All right. Well, I'm not sure what else I can talk about on this episode because I do have Bambi and sugarcane and lollipops. Any interesting stories about lollipops? Maybe there's a murder out there related to a lollipop. I think I just screwed up the algorithm too, because it's going to go, oh, hey, you know, the computer algorithm reading my videos was really happy, strawberries, candy canes, all kinds of goodness, happy dog stories, some sad dog stories, all this good stuff. And then the word murder popped up into the algorithm, and they're like, it's like, don't compute, I don't compute. It was a little bit like on the Star Trek episode where they said to Spock, I've used this one before, but Spock said to the androids on, I think one of the Harry Mudd episodes, or maybe, yeah, I think it was Harry Mudd episodes, he said, everything that I say is a lie. I am lying right now. And then the android said, well, if everything you say is a lie, and then you say you're lying right now, then what you said was true, but if everything you say is a lie, and then smoke started shooting out of the ears, okay? Right. So I think that had the same effect right there on the YouTube algorithms, right there. Right, Blue? Yeah. And it was like, they heard the word murder amongst Bambi and candy canes. And they're not really sure how that happened. Well, it'll be decent though, right? Like, yeah. Well, maybe we should look up murders that happened with a lollipop. Matter of fact, let's try that on. A second. Newspapers.com. Let's see if that actually works. All right, people. I'll go over here. Let's type in murder. Well, how do you spell? Is lollipop how I spelled it, with a Y or an I in there? Let's make sure we got that right. No, so it's an I. Okay, lollipop. A poll on my favorite song, Steve Moonlight Murder, and Kathy Lollipop. Hey, at least it had the 2 words in there, okay? Wow. Jesus. So I guess there was... Well, this makes it even worse, since my jury urges death sentence in baby Lollipop murders. What year is this? 1992. The mother convicted of first-degree murder in the death of baby Lollipops, whose battered body was found abandoned in 1990. So is that somebody's name, like baby Lollipop? Thanks, Ziggy49. Appreciate it. Very cool. Okay, detectives nicknamed him for the lollipop t-shirt he wore.
Love your show. Thanks for all you do.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Okay. A jury of 8 women and 4 men agreed. This is 1982. 4 men agreed with Marion County prosecutor Stephen Goldsmith when he said after 3 days of testimony in criminal court, what you have here when you sort out all these words is a murder for a lollipop. Wow, we actually found something related. It wasn't by a lollipop, but it was Somebody got murdered for a lollipop. The jury, after 1 hour and 7 minutes of deliberation, found Fred Peters, 28, guilty of murdering his 8-year-old stepson, DeMarco Sean Eric Lewis, by banging his head against the wall, punching him in the stomach, kicking him in the ribs, hurling him to the floor, and stomping on him in an argument over 2 Valentine Day lollipops Sean had brought home from school. Well, yeah, that's wow, that's pretty depressing right there. I think I'm done looking up lollipop murders. Okay. We were having such a serene conversation, and then all of a sudden, there really was a story on lollipop murders. Yeah, it's definitely freaking out now. They were trying to associate, like at the recommended play, when the show started, it had different variations of Bambi and, different cartoons. And when it was over, they made some kind of weird cyborg suggestion. We don't even know what it was doing. We got to see what it suggests. Yeah, I think there's so many stories out there that it would actually are interesting. Like, didn't everybody think that 1939 case is interesting? The one with it's crazy as hell, but it's interesting. And there's no way in hell we ever would have heard about that except for a random moment where another case led me to look somewhere, and then that popped up. That case would never be talked about. You'd never hear it on any show anywhere. I think it'd be a cool, I really do. I think it'd be an interesting podcast series if you just dug through and found all these older stories that are just absolutely crazy and talk about. Maybe on each episode you talk about 2 or something like that. Like a literal podcast. And see if you can get more deeper information on it. Yeah, Lizzie Borden, that's where Cairo, he went and stayed there. Cairo actually had the guts to stay in one of the rooms somebody was killed in. Like, hey, don't mind me. I don't care if I sleep with some ghosts tonight. Yeah, I might look into that. Or maybe I'll even do one of the, like, Ada always tries to get me to do, like, the top 5 or top 3 of this or that. Well, maybe I could come up with top 3 unknown cases from the 30s. Yeah. Top 3 unknown cases from the 40s. Yeah, something like that. Except what sucks now is, like, you spend a lot of time making one of those videos, and then you put it out, and then YouTube demonetizes it because they're in a whole anti-true crime mode. So you could spend hours and hours and hours editing, putting it all together, and then they screw you over. Yeah, that's right. Cairo made me referred to a case that I think it was kind of near his hometown. And let's see. So there was some guy that was arrested for killing a woman, and then was possibly the murder of these Fetty brothers, but he was killed in a prison riot, and like his head was chopped off. Like another another one of these cases, right? So anyways, I was looking up, we finally found some information how to spell the last name, what the guy's real first name, because they had it like Ben something, but that was actually a nickname. And so anyways, I looked this guy up, and my God, it's like every other year, he's got another drunk driving charge. One time he drove through some bushes to some sort of drive-through or something, and there was cops there, and he said, "Oh yeah, I was just thought it was a drive-through," and he just slammed his car. You know, it's crazy. But anyway, he was a victim of a murder. But I was kind of thinking that by the time I was done looking into that guy, that he probably was absolutely wasted somewhere, said the wrong thing to the wrong guy, and then got taken out. I mean, it might be way more to it than that, but that popped into my head. It definitely seemed like a possibility. Oh, and by the way, everybody, I want to say thank you to Oni. Right? You guys know Oni, right? Yeah, Oni actually helped me out for like an hour and something to get up and running on Dlive yesterday. It was pretty cool. Like, he literally just went through and he got all sort of the basic setups, kind of explained how it works, that kind of thing. So if you guys see him, say that I said thanks. I kept meaning to say at the beginning of shows, but I don't know, just the show started and I forgot to do it. But I'm remembering right now, so if you see Oni, let him know that I said thanks, and I really appreciate it. Yeah, he's always been cool to me. And even when he had some people that he was hanging out with that were bashing me, he always said, "Hey, no, I've talked to Gray. I know Gray. I'm not going to do that." So that's a good person in my book, right? Yeah. See, a good person is somebody who will tell their truth even in the face of controversy. Like, if everybody else is thinking something and you say something and you defend somebody, even in the light of that, that's a good person. Also, a good person is somebody who tells the truth. Like, let's say somebody knows that you said something and how you said it and what you said, and then other people say, "No, you said this. No, you said this." The person who actually heard how you said it goes, "No, actually, everybody, this is what happened." Those are good people. The people who remain quiet in those moments are the worst of the worst. They're actually worse than the person who's cutting down the one, you know. So, like, staying quiet when you know the truth, you're just not a good person at all. All right? The truth should always win out. Yeah. Yeah, no, Oni's cool. I always liked him. And I guess he's going to be coming back on YouTube pretty soon, so that's good. Yep, the truth shall set you free. Well, it's ironic that you said that, because on the screen right there, you see the guy on the right. He told the truth, and I don't think it set him free. You know what's weird, though, is I could never find a reference to his name again after those initial articles. It's almost like they just wanted him to kind of go away into the system somewhere, put him in a psych ward, and then he got out a few years later, and we just don't know anything about it. Because I think back then, people were a little bit more lenient on that kind of thing. Like, it's just too weird. We don't want society to think that there's actually people out there that might do these types of things. Good night, Nancy. Yeah, I don't know if he was ever in the asylum. They just said he was getting treatment for some mental issues. So I don't know if that meant he was already in one. He talks about true crime sometimes and other stuff. He does makeup, things like that. Yeah, we do a little differently. He kind of doesn't mind doing the a little bit of the rumor mill speculation stuff, but you know, I know people like that. That's just not my gig. I don't like to do that part. All right. Hey, thanks, Kyra. Hey, I don't. It didn't. Well, it's not going to read any of that stuff. Let's see. So was that one an alien? Power cord. A couple guys wrestling. I don't know if that's male. Yeah, female. Soccer ball. Something. Statue of Liberty. Yeah. What's your question about Delphi? I'm actually going to be going off the air here in a minute, but yeah. Oh yeah, that's why you came over. Maybe I should start doing that. All my true crime shows will have a thumbnail with Bambi doing various things. But you'll have to realize the sarcasm of it once you're in the show listening. I know, they're just looking for anything in the water there. That's it. We don't know what they were looking for. They were looking for anything. Maybe clothing. Anything that might have gone in the river. That's it. Oh yeah, where'd you go fishing, Soldier Photos? Were his jeans wet? Well, I'm thinking they might be wet, but what's really interesting, Cairo, is after you get into the water and you walk up for a little bit, you can't even tell that they're wet if the water went high enough. They just look like jeans. It's absolutely fascinating. It's freaking unbelievable, actually. And then I definitely believe that the Bohemian Grove has something to do with Madeleine McCann. If not somebody there, but perhaps the alien connection they have, Cairo. I think it's the elders of the Bohemian Grove have communicated with aliens, and they were sent to abduct Madeleine McCann, and perhaps at some point they'll reveal her a few years later. But you know what? I'm not sure if when they return Madeleine McCann, if she'll be the age that she should be, or did they travel back in time and when she comes out she'll be the same age as when she left. Unbelievable, huh? Yeah. That's right. Definitely conspiracy. You got me on that one. You nailed me. Yeah. You went to Multnomah Falls last night? Awesome. Yeah, it did look pretty cool last night. I keep missing it because I'm always doing my show. Pillar Falls. You have to kayak to it. It's right on the beautiful Snake River. Yeah, so probably smallmouth bass, right? I don't think there's any large. There might be a few. I don't know if there's any largemouth in the Snake River. Largemouth, like more non-moving water. Like I know that John Day and Snake River have smallmouth bass. I'd be surprised if there was any meaningful population of largemouth in there, but maybe. Yeah. Well, I like crappie. You know, I caught a Lake Oswego. I've told you guys, but I caught 2 17-inch crappie in there. That's bigger than almost any crappie you see on YouTube videos. So, gosh, if there's crappie in there, I guess there could be largemouth bass. Because crappie, I wouldn't think there'd be crappie in the Snake River, unless you're talking about the part where it's really slow. And it's a little bit, because even on that the show last night when we flew up it, there was that one part that was murkier and slower, so maybe that was it. Yeah, the 2 crappie I caught in Lake Oswego didn't even fit in, you know those 5-gallon buckets? that you can buy, you know, the regular, like the orange bucket that you would get at Home Depot. You put it in there and it couldn't stay straight. It actually curved around inside of it. It was wild. Okay, wow. So that's funny that the rest of it's kind of quick moving. You'd think it'd be smallmouth. Like you go up to the John Day River and it's just chock full of smallmouth bass. A ton of them. Like every cast is a smallmouth bass. You almost have to yank off the little ones quickly so you could maybe catch a bigger one. You know, I actually believe in the term positive fishing. I used to, when I was a kid, I'd fish in, I think it was Devil's Lake on the coast, I think near Lincoln City, I think. And I'd fish in there, and I'd sit there with this little tiny piece of worm and a hook, and I could catch perch after perch after perch. And that was kind of before I knew what bluegill and crappie and all that stuff was. I never even, all those times, all those years I would catch crappie, perch, thousands, I mean hundreds and hundreds. Every single time I put it in, I catch one. And there'd be a guy right next to me putting his pole in the water, and he wouldn't catch a damn thing. Same bait and everything. And it was, I think it was just me thinking, oh, I'm going to get one. I'm going to catch one. I'm going to catch one. Look. Yeah, but, so anyways, hey, hit that like button, everybody. Maybe that'll get you going. Hey, hit the like button. Yes! Cheer for yourself, everybody. And now I'm going to do the other one.
I'm tired of it not taking down 15, all the time, but I'm burning 15, I'm burning 15, 20, I'm 30, 40, 20, I'm 30, and 30, and 30, 20, but I'm burning 30. You want to put 30, sir, 25, I'm burning 30, 25, 30, 30, now 5, I'm 35.
Okay, there you go. 25, 30, 35, 40. Now, I love crappie, tastes amazing. Bluegill are good too, but I know how to fillet crappie, where it's just meat. That's all you got at the end. I know how to cook them. I can do, you know, I've even eaten bass, but crappie's way better. Catfish is good. Nothing better than maybe like a 9 or 10 inch trout, right? Maybe between 9 and 12 inches, really. Those are good. When they get bigger, they're still pretty good, but not quite as good as the, so, you know, 2 or 3 of those are good. I'm not one of the, when I go fly fishing, you know, I let most of them go, but if I catch one inside the range, I'll actually take one home to eat or something. I'm not like one of those, oh yeah, you gotta let them all, every single one of them go. I mean, that's the whole point sometimes, is to eat. They're good. Yeah, I became a bass fisherman while I was in college at Oregon State University. There's a place called Kiger Island. I was just looking at it. You know, it's kind of interesting. It still looks the same. Here, watch this. Kiger Island. Yeah, it's just Oregon. Okay, so I think that's even it right there. Yeah, so I'd be in Corvallis and I would take my scooter down this road right here. So somewhere in here is the college, you know. Then I'd take my scooter down the road right here, and then I'd take the scooter and then drive out here, and then I'd go across this bridge right here, and then I would park my scooter in this area right here where you see these little canoes are. Then I'd walk down the side of the bridge, you know, similarly to the down the hill thing, believe it or not. But yeah, you go underneath there, and then let's see if I can find it. Well, it was just amazing. So I would walk up along these banks here, and when I was fishing there, I didn't know what the hell I was doing really for bass. And this old timer guy was there, and he taught me how to do all of it. It was incredible, like how to do the Texas rig with you got the true turn hook with the sinker that goes up and down, and you put the worm on there. You know, you hook it through the top, and then you put it in, then it becomes weedless. And what's cool about bass fishing is you cast it out. One of the rubber worms, just like you see the pros do it. And when it hits the water, you lock the bail in, and you watch the line sink. You don't do anything. You just watch the line sink. And if the line becomes slack too quickly, that means a fish has it in their mouth and is going towards you, and you reel in really quick and you just hammer back on it, right? Then sometimes you cast out and the line just starts moving to the side. That means they picked it up and are swimming with it. And you don't want them to feel, you don't want to even feel them. You just want to watch your line. So you have your line kind of looped. It's a little bit slack in the water, but you see that it's moving. Then you kind of put the point of the rod down, and then you just boom, you pull back and nail that sucker. Yeah, it's awesome. That's when I started catching the big ones. I've caught a couple 5-pounders, largemouth bass in Oregon. Believe it or not, this is going to sound crazy as hell, but on the Willamette about 3 years ago, I caught a 23-inch smallmouth bass. That's how long it was. It was spawning time, so it wasn't as thick as it could have been, but that could have been a 6-pounder. I think it was like 3.5, 4, but it was during spawning time, so it was kind of thin. But it was crazy how I caught it. I literally put the lure in the water just to see what it looked like, and then it swam out of this pipe and ate it. It was crazy. Yeah, and then I've caught a bunch of nice ones down there. I'd say I've probably caught 15 or 20 2.5, 3-pounders. And listen, smallmouth bass, they fight harder than any other fish out there for their size. And even if you catch a 3-pound smallmouth bass, it fights 3 times harder than a largemouth 3-pounder. It's not even close. Those suckers just boom! I mean, they just rip. It's just amazing. And if you just want to make sure you catch one, just use a white curly tail. If you want to catch the big smallmouth bass, you cast out crawdad imitations, and even really big ones. So a really big crawdad imitation, and you reel it in, and man, they'll just come up and hammer that thing. It's amazing. So, anyways, there you go. There's my fishing stuff. I got thousands of fishing stories. I've fished since I was like 8, a little kid. Okay, here's the thing. My second largest trout that I ever caught was on the Metolius River, and it was at this place we called the Idiot Hole. But anyways, here's what I did. I had just put fresh leader on, a whole new leader. So when you get these leaders for fly fishing, they're all in a bunch of loops, and then you have to straighten them out. But I didn't have time to sit there and straighten them out with your hand so it's nice and straight. So I tied on the fly, and then my first cast, the fly, the line all coiled up into a so it looks about like this. So it kind of coils up. It landed right on itself, and the fly landed in the middle of it, like a bird's nest with a fly in it. And all of a sudden, there's this little plink, and I was like, "What?" And so I just pulled back, and then, man, it was a 19-inch native rainbow on the Metolius River when I finally got it in. Of course, my friend, being the fly fishing purist, he got in the water and revived the thing for probably 20 minutes in the coldest water that you've ever heard of. I mean, it's literally, I think the water is something like 42 degrees or some shit. I mean, or even 39 or something. I mean, it's cold. It's so ludicrously cold. Okay, because the Metolius River just comes right out of the ground and then becomes a river. And then I think it runs into Lake Billy Chinook. But yeah, so he sat in the water for 20 minutes reviving it. Then he goes, "Okay, Gray, it's your turn now. It's your turn." So I got in the water, and I was like, "God damn, this is cold." So I'm like, oh, whoa, look at he's really, and then I let him go like almost immediately. Oh yeah, look at him swim away. Okay, there's no way in hell I'm sitting in the water. I mean, this guy was like a whack job. I'm just kidding, but he's like so into reviving the fish. I mean, he's just really a fly fishing purist. He's a great guy, but I thought he was crazy when I say whack job, that he was literally standing in the water for 20 minutes to revive the fish. But of course, when I got in there, miraculously the fish started wiggling, and I let it go. Yeah, fly fishing is just so awesome, you know. But here's the thing: if you're in Oregon fly fishing, you got to use merger. They're called mergers, but the actual technical name is mergent caddis pupa. Right? What those are is, you know, when you guys have all been to creeks, right? And you see those little on the rocks, those little creatures that look like they're encased with rocks. You ever seen those? They're crawling around on the rocks, and they're encased with a casing that has rocks on it. Okay, well, those are caddisfly larvae inside these little, kind of like a cocoon, but it's made out, it has stones on it. Okay, now eventually they leave that and they swim up to the surface, like here's the top of the water, and the caddisfly will come up to it. And then it'll be right in the surface while it's drying its wings. And right during that time, while it's drying its wings to take its first flight, trout will come up and hammer that shit. It looks like, I've actually been on the Deschutes where it looks like a feeding frenzy. Like literally sharks. I mean, it's just you could cast backwards over your head and probably catch something during a hatch. I mean, it's like not even, they'll hit anything. So there you go. How'd you guys like talking about fishing for a couple minutes tonight? I know Woods Girl and Kids likes it, but I was just kind of done doing my regular show, so I figured I'd talk about fishing for a couple of minutes. Hey, what was the name of that canyon or whatever you mentioned at the end of your show of my show last time? Woods Girl and Kids, man. That doesn't roll off the tongue. Okay, that's just sort of a. So what was the name of that place? It was on the Snake River somewhere, I think. I don't know. I think it's something. It said something else. It was like, yeah, Leslie Gulch. That was it. I don't know what river it was, but yeah. Yeah, this was cool looking here. Look at that. I bet there's gold up in them there hills, don't you think? Alright. Alright, so I'm going to have to do something differently. Let me try to figure out how to get to... First, I'm going to thank... Wow, this is gonna be tough. All right. So on PayPal, we've got Sandra Metcher, Donna Vask, I think, and then Yvette. Maybe I won't say the last names. I don't know. Yvette and Megan. Thank you very much. Very kind. Then there was also on here another one, I think maybe through Streamlabs, or I'm not sure, but Jackie Lamour. All right. So there you go. That was on there. Now I'm going to switch over to the super chats. That's going to take a while. You guys went nuts on me. I mean, don't get me wrong. I really appreciate it, but it was like, oh man, that was awesome. All right, so I'm just opening up. Okay, so thank you to Ziggy on the Bambi show, and Juju Positive, Lori Fisher, Sabrina Rodriguez, Dottie O, Juju Positive again, Donna V, Crystal aka Beaver Gaming Sub, Steve Kerr, the great outside shooter, Juju Positive, Jay Case, Sabrina Rodriguez, Bush and Beach Lifestyle, Paisley Dreams, Lanky Tor, Jay Case again, a couple big bombs in there, Juju Positive, Audra Blankenship. Oh, and look at that. Is that another Ziggy 48 again? Thank you. It must be on Streamlabs. And then Crystal, aka Beaver Gaming Sub again. That was on the previous show. Jan a fan, and then Crystal, aka Beaver Gaming Sub again. Crystal, I have to put that at the end. And then Chester Marie and Kit Kat. So wow, thank you guys, amazing. Very, very kind of you. We'll probably have to be making a larger donation at the first of this next month. See if we can bust out 200 on the next one. Next donation. Good night, Sabrina. Thanks again. Your call last night sort of made my whole week. I was just thinking, wow, that feels so good that people enjoy the show that much. Very cool. Look at that alien in the sands.
Good night, Gray and freaks. I'm hungry for fish now.
I know, I want to eat fish now too. A little crappie. Get some seasoning with some flour. Roll the crappie in it. And dip it in some, or actually put egg on it first, then dip it in the flour with the seasoning, and then right in the oil. It's way better than fish and chips, okay? Not even close. I actually do watch, I have 2 or 3 fishing shows that I watch. There's a guy named John B. I mean, he incredible, you know, he's got 1.3 million followers. It's JONB, and he's got some videos that are just they're just crazy. I mean, he's got this, they were trying to catch this 8-pound bass that was bedding, and they tried it 100 times. They just couldn't get it, so they went fishing somewhere else, and later in the day they came back, and then he has his friend that goes with him sometimes, and the friend casts over there, and you see him yank back on a strike, and the lure comes flying out, and he goes, oh, I got the technique. And then John B's on the boat, and he goes, no way. And he stands up, and he's standing right next to him, and then you can see that he notices underwater that the fish is taking a bite of it, so he puts his head back a little bit, and all of a sudden the guy goes, poof! He yanks back, hooks this fish, and he's like, oh my God. He runs over, and John B goes and grabs the net, and the net has a fishing pole stuck in the net, and he runs over and he scoops out the 8-pound bass, turns to the camera, just walks right at the camera, and just goes. It's so epic. And then he turns around, hugs his buddy. It was unbelievable. And the way, and he went to Australia too and did all this stuff. I mean, it literally is like Netflix or something. It's freaking amazing. You know, to have that. I wish I was that age again, because that's what I would be doing. I would be out fishing. 100%. I would do YouTube fishing shows. You know, hey, you know what would be cool is like while you're fishing, you're talking about cases. Yeah. True crime fisherman. Yeah. Anyways, there you go. Let's see. Oh, yes. And yes, I got another. Ryan sent in a PayPal. Thank you very much, man. Very cool. Oh, and then Ziggy just donated another 5. Thank you. Yeah. All right, everybody. You guys ready for the flyby? Here we go. And this is called, what's the name of this again? Something Gulch? I like the name. Yeah, Leslie Gulch. Looks like there'd be some gold up there, don't you think? I would actually just take my metal detector and see if you could find some on the surface. Good night, Sabrina!
Boom! Good night, freaks!
Oh, really? Top Cop? That's really cool. Top Cop's husband was a professional bass fisherman. Thank you, Sooner History. Hey, Top Cop, thanks for the comment there. Yeah, I was looking for like a car or a fish in the water. Maybe a sturgeon. Something. Not that there's any sturgeon there, but, you know, could be. I thought the Snake River had some sturgeon. One more round. One more round. I was actually looking for a car in the water. Up in the clouds. All right, everybody. Wow. Thank you very much for all the support tonight. Yeah, even watching, all the contributions made. Really appreciate it. Unbelievable. But let's see. And also for sticking through 2 different live streams. Okay? I mean, wow. That's crazy. I mean, first live stream got basically set to some weird rated R content during the show. And so we went back on the air with Bambis and Lollipops. Or was it Strawberries and Lollipops? I don't really even remember at this point. But anyways, thank you very much. Thank you, moderators, for all you do. Try not to, remove nice positive comments on accident. I know that does happen. I've done it myself. But man, you guys are always on top of all the trolls. I didn't see very many tonight, but maybe that was because of you guys. You hid them from me, which is good. All right. So thank you all for showing up tonight. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there.